So welcome back to the Top Gun Trophy round one with Daryl Taylor just running to the toilet very quickly. Drivers are on their way around. Daryl, I think, the only driver who has decided he needs the toilet, although Daniel Field's pulling over by the looks of it and having his engine switched off, so he may need the same. And Facebook has just told me that this is our 50th broadcast. I'm not sure if that is my personal milestone or whether that is in general for the Drivers Club. Ryan Margolis not overly happy with the tracking on his car, but as we've said before, they're not necessarily absolutely perfect, but we get them as close as we possibly can. Drivers need to remember, of course, it's colder, it's night time, so the cars won't quite have as much power as they will on a nice warm evening. I think Daniel Fields just being checked to make sure his car is achieving full throttle, if that is a concern that he's got. The empty cart of Daryl Taylor just remaining on the bricks as Daryl returns now. Daniel a maze ago trying to get his tyres nice and hot on the way around to the grid. As we have mechanic on the circuit just to have a look at this kart as well for Daniel Fields, just to clarify if it's kart or not. Daryl Taylor on his way around to the grid now. Daniel Fields just having his kart checked, as I said, to be sure it is mechanically fine. A few issues with the focus there, just trying to zoom that in a bit. So Daniel Fields now being spared over, so there was an issue with that kart. Hopefully he'll be able to get this race underway very shortly. As the team of marshals get him strapped in, send him round. So Daniel Fields on his way around to the grid now, so that means we will be able to get underway nice and shortly. As always, the digi flag will be used to start the race from race control. Randomly allocated time after everybody is in position, the red lights will come on, and a random allotted time after that, the lights will go to green and the race is underway. So the red lights come on. The race is underway. So as they exit stadium for the first time, Darrell Taylor leading the way. Second place driver, the number 12, Max Miners. Daniel Amazigo just getting past Sienna Gordon as they head into pylon 1. As I mentioned at the beginning of qualifying, we're expecting this series to be incredibly close in terms of talent, but Darrell is already starting to open up a bit of a lead. Car 3 and car 9 getting contact warnings. It's Cody Eustace and Daniel Amazigo. So as they all file through, Amazigo moves into third place, getting past George Linsell. Well, a little bit of contact from Sienna Gordon on Cody Eustace, nothing major. I don't think either driver will be complaining about it. And a contact warning for car number 10. That is Connor Steele. So Darrell Taylor still leading. Daniel Amazigo looking up the inside into hairpin 2. Can he make that stick? He's going to have the outside line into pylon. But Max has got the run on him down the straight anyway. And nothing doing this time, but he's going to try again into stadium, I would have thought. Sienna Gordon on the back of Cody Eustace there. And Amazigo with the orange crash helmet looking up the inside into stadium. Can't quite make that work. And all that time, Darrell driving away now. So second and third still Max Miners, Daniel Amazigo. Fourth place still George Linsell. Cody Eustace fifth for the moment. Sienna Gordon sixth, but a little bit of contact coming into the hairpin. There's Amazigo now alongside as they head into pylon, but Max has got the inside line. He's going to make that work. It's all about defending now. When the pack is this close and nobody's making any mistakes, you can't afford to be the first one. Again, apologies for the quality on the camera. We're doing our absolute best. I can tell you that the orange blur is Daniel Amazigo, now in second place, passing Max Miners. I'll just try and zoom out to regain some focus. The light playing havoc. I need to improve on this for next year, I think. Contact warning out for cart number 7, which is Sienna Gordon. In a strange situation at the moment where I know all of these drivers quite well, but I don't know their cart numbers for this event. I'm still having to check my paper list, make sure I've got enough people on there. Ryan Margolis. I think I may have to stay zoomed out for the time being because Cody Eustace nearly gets passed up the inside in the S's, but defends it valiantly and is coming back down the straight. That contact warning out, still out on cart 7, has now disappeared, so maybe Sienna had just passed the gantry when it was given. And I think there may have been some contact there as well. And Sienna Gordon moves. You know the calibre of the race is high. when the head of the Drivers Club, Ryan Musk, is watching. As he heads into the dark, Daniel Amazigo now going to try and hunt down Darrell Taylor. As we look down the field, Sienna Gordon still in fourth, George Linsell fifth, Cody Eustace getting past Connor Steele to take sixth, Connor is seventh. I think that is Luke Mottram in eighth. Not 100% sure, I'll clarify that as they come round. It is indeed, and Daniel Fields just getting past Luke Mottram there. Because none of these drivers, they will have probably come across each other at some point since they've started racing here, but they don't necessarily competitively race each other, as Cody Eustace has a look at the inside of George Linsell, can't quite get past him this time. Well, they say in motorsport you have to expect the unexpected, and I wasn't expecting Darrell Taylor and Daniel Amazigo to be driving away quite as quickly as they are. The number 11 of Daniel Fields. As we see Darrell Taylor heading into F1, and just behind him Daniel Amazigo. And a few seconds behind him, third place Max Miners. And then a roughly equal gap, I would say, to fourth place Sienna. Fifth place Cody Eustace, sixth George Linsell. Connor Steele behind them, then Daniel Fields, Luke Mottram, Jack Harris. Oh, and I think that is Max Mottram just passing Ryan Margolis for all the battle between 11th and 12th. As we watch this big group, oh, Cody Eustace bumping through the curb. I'm not sure if we'll get a contact warning for that, but he certainly hit the side of Daniel Fields. He's going to get the run on him into stadium. Pylon even. Daniel knows that, tries the undercut, doesn't quite work. Cody covering him off. Connor Steele back through ahead of them. Just giving George Linsell a little tap to let him know he's there. There's a contact warning, goes out to 11 and 3. That is Daniel Fields and Cody Eustace. So race director Luke Ladley-Elmers judging that this was an equal responsibility. And we'll follow this train of 5 drivers, I think. As George Linsell. Was that Daniel Fields? No, Daniel Fields, sorry. Oh, and they get squeezed 3 cars wide as they came past the pit exit, and that was very, very... Luke Mottram losing out slightly as Daniel Fields and Cody Eustace blast their way through. And the field's starting to spread out now, as Daniel Amazigo is still trying to hunt down Darrell Taylor. And that, I would say, that gap is definitely shrinking. Whether that is Darrell inviting him on, or whether that is raw pace from Daniel Amazigo, we'll soon find out. However, this battle further down in the midfield is as fierce as you are going to see. Oh, and Daniel Fields just some more contact between Fields and Eustace as they head into the S's. Because the leading driver has the prerogative, the trailing driver has to drive accordingly. That will be taken into consideration as a contact warning goes out for Jack Harris in the number 5. Again, I didn't quite see that, but we will soon find out. Oh, as Sparks out on the way into pylon 1. And the contact warning there for car 5 will have just been seen now. And Amazigo is definitely closing on Taylor. The gap is getting smaller. As George Linsold has a look up the inside of Connor Steele. One squeezes towards the pit wall, but Connor gets through. Has a better run out the corner. Daniel Fields now having a look. Gets up the inside into pylon 1. Linsold losing a couple of positions there, and Cody Eustace directly behind him now. Cody with a slightly wider line out of pylon 2 as the contact warning goes up to car 11. That's Daniel Fields. I think that is his second or third warning. So very much being kept an eye on. As I can just see down by the pit exit, Darrell Taylor's driving coach and team boss Steve Cutting, egging him on, giving him the heads up he needs, telling him that driver behind you is catching you up, you need to get a bit of a move on. And I'm sure Darrell is one to respond immediately. So this group of 5 at the moment, Daniel Fields leading that as he takes that contact warning. Connor Steele now leading that group. I think he just got past his stadium. But Daniel Fields on the outside as they go into pylon. He's not going to be able to get past using that line. Oh, and the same for the S's. I think he might have a lunge up the inside and does into pylon 2. Connor forced wide. Still in the group but losing ground. George Linsell and Cody Eustace bump drafting their way down the straight. I think George is going to get past. If Cody as well. So in the space of the back straight, Connor Steele managed to lose 3 positions, unfortunately. As I said, this race will be tight, and it is very, very close. So that group of 5, currently in the mid-pack, is Daniel Fields, along with George Linsell, Cody Eustace, then Connor Steele, and then Luke Mottram. There's another contact warning goes out to car 11. So that, I would assume, is probably going to be his final warning. Sienna Gordon tucking in as she heads down past the building. Catching Max Miners, third place driver at the moment. And then behind them is that big group. And it looks as though Luke Mottram having a look around the outside of Cody. Connor Steele. Connor using plenty of curve. The S has fended him off and has got himself enough of a gap to defend into stadium as well. And now this is the battle for the lead. Amazigo has caught Taylor up and they are directly racing for the lead of this first round of the championship. So as they head into stadium, Daryl Taylor's still leading, but only just. And soon they will be catching Ryan Margolis, who's not having as good a day. Down the back straight, we can see the group of 5 still being led by Daniel Fields, and that is in 5th place. 6th place at the moment is Cody Eustace, having just passed George Linsell. Behind George is Connor Steele, and then just behind Connor is Luke Mottram. Behind Luke Mottram is his cousin Max, who will be hunting him down as he makes a move to get past Connor Steele. Doesn't quite manage it. And so behind Luke Mottram is Jack Harris in the blue suit. Ryan Margolis off having issues all night with being forced wide, and unfortunately though that is part of racing, as Sienna Gordon has a look into pylon on Max Miners but doesn't quite pull it off this time. He ducks and dives through the S's and pylon too, but he's going to have to get a move on because this train is catching. As Eustace has a look up the inside, contact warning goes out to Cody Eustace just after he'd gone underneath the gantry, and he gets past Daniel Fields through stadium. So that is into 5th place for Cody Steele in the red suit. Cody just takes that contact warning from the previous lap. So far as I think that is his 2nd warning of the night. And Sienna Gordon now past Max Miners. Daryl Taylor still leading. Sienna Gordon taking the 3rd podium position. Taking it away from Max Miners there, dropping him into 4th. Cody Eustace 5th now, just ahead of Daniel Fields. The head of this large group. 5 drivers, that group. And as we speculated, this is still a very, very close race. Amazing go all over the rear bumper of Daryl Taylor. And he has to be a pretty good driver to be anywhere near Daryl Taylor, let alone anywhere near his bumper. Sienna Gordon is through the S's again. Contact warning goes out to car number 9, which is Daniel Amazigo. So that presumably would have been on Daryl Taylor. Battle for the lead. Maybe half a second between them. We knew this race was going to be close. I didn't know if anyone could really take the fight to Daryl, but Amazigo is certainly giving it a very, very good go. And this midfield pack, 5 carts in a train, identical racing lines through the S's. Ryan Margolis pulls over on the bricks, maybe calling it a night. course, although this is only a 5-round championship, they are entitled to a drop round. So this might have to be Ryan's drop round, and next time he'll come back stronger. See Cody Steele, championship driver, watching his brother, without rooting him on. Doing very well. Connor Steele still in that big group in the middle of the field. Sienna Gordon has a look over her shoulder. Just keeping an eye on Max Miners, who is still bumper to bumper with her, not letting her go. But I think Daniel Fields is back past Cody Eustace, so maybe a little bit of unofficial teammate teamwork going on there to try and run away from those other three. Brian retiring, I would assume. Oh, as Max has a little look around the outside, didn't work this time. Hairpin 2, very difficult place to overtake when the racing line, well, the driver ahead of you is spot on. You have to really do something different, and he didn't quite pull it off this time. Managed to get alongside though, as has Cody Eustace into S's. Cody having a look into stadium, draws alongside, backs out, doesn't want to potentially ruin his race from a move that he didn't need to make there and then. So as I look to the leaders, it is still Darryl Taylor leading, but all over his rear bumper, Daniel Amazigo with that bright orange crash helmet and the white suit. As I said earlier, to get anywhere near the rear bumper of Darryl Taylor, you have to be pretty quick. So Daniel Amazigo really giving him a run for his money now. As this train of karts is getting longer and longer by the minute. We now have the main field of karts, which is 7 of them, all within a couple of seconds of each other, as Max Miners just drops off the back of Sienna Gordon slightly, but it's invited Daniel Fields to go up the inside, and he gets through at stadium. So Daniel Fields down Sienna Gordon. And it's the light levels, I think, playing with the focus, unfortunately. I did try and wipe it. It was maybe made it a little bit better, but it's still a bit sketchy. So contact warning goes out to kart number 12, which is Max Miners. So I'm not sure what has happened. I may have just missed this, but the top 3 there, well, not top 3, sorry, 3rd, 4th and 5th, Cody Eustace having stopped on the bricks, and I can't quite tell why. I didn't see any major contact. I didn't see, but he is going to now be unfortunately, lap down. He is getting his engine restarted. And he's released basically back where he was on circuit. Sort of in that main pack in the middle of the grid. Connor Steele just getting just about getting past there. It's car 5. She's Jack Harris. It's pulled over. Again, I didn't see quite why, but there's a contact warning, and that is a come in board being manually shown to Sienna Gordon. Be getting a penalty, so that is going to make a big difference to the order of this race at the moment. So third place driver Sienna Gordon is going to be receiving a 30-second penalty. I can only assume that is either for another contact warning or for unsportsmanlike behaviour of some kind. So she will have to be stopping now, but she is not going to give up her position until the very last moment. Has in fact gone round again. I'm not sure if she was given the come-in board or whether it was another one, but that battle with Max Miners and Daniel Fields is going to rage on for at least another lap. And then slightly further back down the circuit, we have this group of 4 karts on the digital flag. Kart 7 is Sienna Gordon, so she is going to be given a penalty. I think that board may have gone up just after she drove underneath it, so she'll be given another lap to see it. All this time it's going to be playing into the hands of the group slightly behind, the group of 4. As Darrell Taylor still leading from Daniel Amazigo, starting to catch Max Mottram. Sienna Gordon will have definitely seen that board now and will have to come in. Just try and clean my lens slightly. It's not really much better. That is though. Sienna Gordon now stopping. So Sienna dropping down the order, goes a lap down on the race leaders. And is going to be released very much in no man's land. She could be all on her own. Down towards the back of the grid. So she is released. More or less the length of this straight ahead of the driver she was directly racing earlier on. It will now be a lap down. So that train of 4 still very much a train, and Connor Steele and Cody Eustace going wheel to wheel as they head into stadium. And Cody thinking better of it this time, just holding off. Yeah, and I am struggling tonight with the floodlights. affecting the focus on the camera slightly, or slightly, but a lot. It's something we will have to take into consideration for next season. So as it stands now, Daryl Taylor still leading. Second place, Daniel Amazigo. Oh, and Amazigo has a little look. And there as well, Daryl having to go defensive into hairpin 2. Daniel's going to get alongside him, I think. Oh, not quite. As they head into pylon. Got really, really close, fair racing from those two in first and second. Third place is now Daniel Fields. Fourth place, unless I'm mistaken, is Max Miners, followed by Luke Mottram. George Linsell just behind Luke. Connor Steele and then Cody Eustace in the number 3. So as the race leaders starting to catch the midfield, it really is a masterclass in karting. Let's see if Daniel can do anything this lap. Daryl Taylor going slightly defensive into hairpin 1. Amazigo having a look out of hairpin 2. Nothing doing this time. And as we approach the 40-minute mark, I can assume that there is just over 5 minutes to go of the race. As I said, we race for the duration of an hour, 15 minutes of which is the qualifying session. There's a couple of drivers that had a quick break, so I would estimate a 40-minute race, so we can't have too long to go. So the youngest driver on the grid, the number 1 of Max Mottram, struggling today against the increased pace of his compatriots. Wouldn't normally be racing it. The final lap is out now. Final lap is out on Daryl Taylor. So if Amazigo is going to make a move, he's got to do it now. Let's follow them too as they come through hairpin 1. Amazigo closer than ever. Can he do something at hairpin 2? Not quite, he has a look. I don't think he can make it though. Daryl going very defensive, very, very defensive into pylon 1. They head through, they're going to take through the S's nearly side by side. Daryl Taylor enters the back straight in the lead. I think he is going to take it. Daryl Taylor takes the checkered flag in a very, very close race. Daniel Amazigo second. Then we're going to have to wait a while for third place, because third place is only a hairpin 2 now. Max Miners racing directly with Daniel Fields ahead of him, with Sienna Gordon a back marker just ahead of them. Now what is going to happen here? Sienna has the power. All she has to do is put her cart in the way, and she doesn't do that, so it looks as though, and it is, Daniel Fields takes third, Max Miners fourth, Luke Mottram fifth, Cody Eustace I think was a lap down, making it George Linsell, and then I think that was Connor Steele. Drivers just finishing up pulling up on the bricks, and that was enthralling, I have to say. A very, very good race by everyone involved. You can really see the calibre of these junior championships when we all get them all together like this. The last engines go off, drivers jumping up, and that's a well-deserved win for Daryl Taylor. Daniel Amazigo pushed him all the way. A round of applause from the spectators on the balcony. A shake of hands between Daniel and Daryl, and that was excellent. So we'll end the live stream there. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you again very soon.